And we are set to go with our second fight of the evening. This one in the middleweight division. It features Evgeny Hitrov trying to keep his record perfect against unbeaten Aaron Couli. Aaron Couli calls himself heavy metal, and he has only a draw tomorrow, an otherwise perfect record. Tonight, he'll step up to an 8-round distance for the first time and take a very big step up in caliber of opponent. Couli, a San Francisco Bay Area product. He's been working with trainer Eddie Croft in Virgil Hunter's gym in Oakland. A southpaw, he'll work off his jab, hope to outpoint his stronger opponent. Steve, take us behind the numbers on Aaron Couli.
0, Barry, means 0. Couli's unbeaten in 10 fights, but that means next to nothing because he's never beaten a fighter with a winning record. Left coast lefty, the southpaw Couli is very much the visitor in this matchup. Almost all of his bouts have been either in California or Mexico. And which division? Last fight, Couli weighed 163. The fight before that, he was 153. Tonight, 160 and a half. Where does he belong?
So that is a look at Aaron Couli, and he'll have to take a giant step up tonight to keep that undefeated record against this guy, 26-year-old Evgeny Hitrov. He had a vast amateur career, more than 500 fights and a world championship for his native Ukraine. He was also a member of the Ukrainian Olympic team back in 2012. Hitrov has been very busy since turning pro just 16 months ago. All 9 fights ended by way of knockout, even though the level of competition has steadily increased. He comes into the ring in very good condition. A guy who rarely leaves the gym, well-schooled, very aggressive, very crowd-pleasing. You're probably going to like this guy, Steve. Take us behind the numbers.
But Hitrov, Barry, they're good numbers. A great 8. Last time out, Hitrov went 8 hard rounds before stopping power puncher Jorge Melendez. It was easily his toughest opponent to date, and it made for a great learning experience. 1 southpaw. This will be Hitrov's second bout as a pro against a lefty. In June 2014, he KO'd a decent southpaw in Chris Chapman. And rapid movement. It's mid-April, and this will be Hitrov's 3rd fight of 2015. At this pace, he could be a legit contender, Barry, by the end of the year.
All right, that's the setup for our second fight of the evening. Once more, for the introduction of the fighters, we take you again to the center of the ring and our ring announcer, Thomas Treiber. Thomas.
Ladies and gentlemen, Showbox, the new generation continues with 8 rounds scheduled in the middleweight division. It is being brought to you by Lou DiBella's DiBella Entertainment in association with Fight Promotions, Inc. and Showtime, along with their great sponsor, Manfredi Auto Group. Our 3 judges scoring on a 10-point must system will be Joe Pasquale, John Potteray, and Waleska Roldan. Our referee in charge, the 3rd man in the ring, will be Earl Brown. Introducing to you first, fighting tonight out of the blue corner. He's wearing black with orange and white and weighed in at 160 and a half pounds. Coming to us from Hayward, California, he brings a undefeated record with 9 wins, 1 draw, with 6 of his 9 wins coming by way of knockout. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Aaron Heavy Metal Couli. And his opponent across the ring, fighting tonight out of the red corner. He's wearing red with black and weighed in at 161 and a half pounds. Hailing from Kryvyi Rog, Ukraine, he is undefeated with 9 wins. All 9 wins come by way of knockout. Ladies and gentlemen, here is Yevgen, the Ukrainian Lion, Hitrov.
All right, fighters, let's go. Fighters, let's go. Come on, let's go. Come on, let's go. Okay, gentlemen, you received your instructions in the dressing room. Obey my commands at all times. Protect yourselves at all times. Touch them up. All right.
The numbers for these two, Couli shorter by a ½ inch, but he has a 2-inch reach advantage, and he better make the most of it. His jab has to be his most important weapon if he's going to do well tonight. And the rules, same as in our first fight, no standing 8, no 3 knockdown rule. Ref or doctor can stop the fight. You can't be saved by the bell in any round, and the accidental foul rule different here in New York. Before the start of 5, no contest. After that, we go to the cards, Barry.
All right, so Evgeny Hitrov cut from the same cloth as Sergey Derevnyovchin. How did I do with that? Who we just saw, who we just saw a moment ago. And this guy is no nonsense. Also on a fast track.
Well, a couple of Hitrov's biggest wins were first-round knockouts. So unlike Derevyanchenko, he doesn't always study his opponent. He fights more with his heart. Derevyanchenko fights more with his intellect. I think that's a good way to separate the two Ukrainians.
You did that very well, Steve.
Thank you.
Right. No punch, no punch. Let go, let go, let go.
So far, Couli being smart, tying him up on the inside. That's what you got to do with a guy like with the lion, like Hitrov, using his long arms, his long jab. Let's see how long he could do that before Hitrov closes the gap.
One of the things you have to like about Hitrov, he's very patient, even as a young fighter.
Yes, takes his time. If you see, guy throws wild shots or he gets caught, he has no facial expression. He's in a zone. Of course, that has to do with the 500 amateur fights he had.
There are those 500 amateur. We talked about him being an Olympian, and Couli fought in the U.S. Nationals. He was not a bad amateur himself.
Good right hand to the body by Hitrov.
And the pro experience, not very many rounds for Hitrov. That's because he scored knockouts in all 9 of his bouts. Couli has not been all that busy since turning pro in 2012.
Works in the gym with Virgil Hunter, but Eddie Croft is the man in his corner.
Something to look for early in this fight. Hitrov's trainer, Gary Stark, says Hitrov finds very creative ways to bang to the body, and he likes punching to the midsection. I think we've seen a couple of shots already there, but given that Couli fights with a high guard, it won't surprise me to see Hitrov go downstairs.
Hitrov so far has made Couli miss. That time Couli turned the right hand.
Couli holds him there. He's got to keep turning him. Couli cannot get it, involved in a slugfest, especially early with Hitrov. Everything changes when a guy like Hitrov has power. Don't matter what kind of plan you got, even if you're losing the fight. One punch changes everything with the power that Hitrov has.
Good job by Couli to turn him that time and get there with a left hand. Nothing overpowering.
The bad news for Couli, he's a southpaw. What's the best punch against the southpaw? The right hand. That happens to be Hitrov's #1 weapon.
Yes, that pinpoint right hand down the middle. Couli's a little bit awkward. There's a little bit of awkwardness to him.
All told, not a bad first round for Couli.
Hey, go, man. Good round. But look, off that tight turn on the inside, you got it. You know what I mean? You got that 1-2, just like we've been working on this whole camp, right?
All right, we had a chance to talk to Couli about what he planned to do to win this fight. Here's what he had to say.
You hit him before he's ready.
Stick the jab and turn to my strong side. Make sure I stay in my range and not his. When he get close, tie him up. Don't let him get nothing. Let him know I'm the stronger fighter.
I'd say most of that he did in the first round.
Yeah, he did. He's fighting a pretty smart fight so far, Couli, but it's only the first round.
Let's go. Stay left.
So round 2 of this scheduled 8-rounder. As we said earlier, first time Couli has been scheduled for 8. Hitrov was actually scheduled for 10 in the last fight.
Interesting stat here from round 1. In his last fight, Hitrov averaged 82 punches a round. That's a lot. In round 1 tonight, fighting a southpaw who's moving, he threw 50 punches. So, as Barry said, Couli's doing some things right. I don't think he can win this fight unless he puts a little bit of hurt on Hitrov.
Good straight left hand there.
Caught him with the left hand. I think that long range, that distance is bothering Hitrov a little bit, but
there's a counter right hand.
He keeps getting close. That's his game. Got to give a little bit more head movement. He's coming in too straight. He just got hit again with the left hand by Couly.
Well, which is what his corner had told him. You know, one thing you got to say about Couly, he came in here with an idea of what he needs to do. There was a good right hand. That's a game changer right there.
And that's why I don't like a left-hander moving to his left. He's moving to his left. He ran right into his right hand, Hitrov's right hand. See, I prefer a left-hander moving to his right, his jab hand. But he's moving to his left. He keeps moving that. He's going to keep getting caught. Watch Hitrov catch him. He's trying to set him up, catch him with the straight right hand. That's his power punch. That's his favorite punch.
And Hitrov also showing that he can learn, because he got hit with a couple of left hands, and the third time Couly threw the left hand, Hitrov landed that right.
And Couly is starting to feel Hitrov's power here. That one a little bit short from Hitrov.
Yeah, Hitrov reaching a little bit too much, and he got caught. He got countered with the left hand. He's got to step it up, throw more jabs, 3 and 4 jabs, more head movement. Then let his home run punches go.
Yeah, maybe a little bit too anxious so far in this fight, Hitrov.
Well, he has no choice. With a guy like that, like Couly, he's tall, he's giving a lot of movement. It's going to be awkward to him. You know, you got to keep pressing, because before you know it, 4 or 5 rounds have passed and you haven't got close, then the fight will be over. So he's got to hurry up and be smart about it.
He's on the gas a little bit more here in round 2.
See, now he's getting a little bit ahead. He's getting under that jab.
This is a wild left hand. He'll show with the right, and then he misses a left.
I hope Couly did his road work, because he's going to need those legs.
Yes.
Yeah, pretty soon he's going to need it. I think you see he's slowing down already. He's already slowing down. He's standing more in the pocket, and that's when Hitrov is dangerous. You know, what I like about Hitrov, you know, he keeps trying. He don't get discouraged. Like in the Melendez fight, he learned a lot from that fight. At times, Melendez caught him, but he caught his composure again and got the win.
But he is missing a lot in this fight so far.
Yes, he is.
Jab. You gotta still give me that jab. That's what's gonna upset him. You hear me?
Nice and relaxed.
Don't just walk in. Give me side time over, but you gotta use the jab. That'll set up all your punches. You hear me? He's getting tired. You heard him. You hear me?
Check. What you have to remember is when you get close, don't look for a big shot. Touch him.
Yeah.
Touch him.
Set up what you
And
want.
then it'll come.
You got
Just
him.
touch him, all right?
Use your jab. Set him up. Give him face. Use your jab. You hear me?
Everything comes with that
He's getting
jab.
tired now. Let's go. You heard him 2 times.
Action from round 2. The left hand misses. He almost suckered Couly into throwing that left hand, because he was waiting for the counter right. He knew that if he stepped in, he'd be within range. That's what a good counter puncher does. He suckers you in, and he stays in range, so you think you can hit him, and then he bang, that right hand. Very nice punch.
Round 3 of this 8-round fight. More effective second round from Hitrov.
The big difference between Couly and Melendez, who we've referred to a couple of times. Melendez a better offensive fighter than Couly, but easy to hit. But Melendez hurt Hitrov in that fight, especially to the body. I don't think Couly has that kind of power. But he's elusive.
Very much so, yeah. He really has caused Hitrov to miss a lot of punches.
Yeah, he gives you that little subtle movement. He throws his combination, gives you a little step to the right, to the left, and that offsets Hitrov. It messes up his balance. That's why sometimes you see him lunging in with some shots.
Gary Stark asked Hitrov to jab his way in, not necessarily to land the jab, because it's very hard to do that against a lefty, but to set up the rest of his punches and to get the range right.
Exactly. Just keep touching him with the jab, and attack the body first. Forget about the head. He's too high up. If you see, he kind of fights tall, Couly. So attack the body. Keep attacking the body before you think about going to the head.
I think that's what he's trying to do here. He took a counter left hand from Couly there.
And he's got to throw more punches, not 1 or 2 single shots. Hitrov, sometimes he tends to fall in love too much with his power, and then he gets countered by leads.
Kouli actually fighting a very mature fight. You know, he's doing some pretty crafty things.
Yeah, I'm impressed given the quality of opposition he's faced so far. This is such a huge jump up in class. For Kouli, it's like taking an at-bat against a high school pitcher, and then your next at-bat you're facing Clayton Kershaw. I mean, that's the kind of jump up in class it is.
The only thing I can say is Kershaw's got a 6-point ERA this year.
I should have said Madison Bumgarner. I'm sorry, Barry. In respect to you.
One game, he's got a 6-point ERA. Good right hand there from Hitrov.
Kouli's never been down or cut against very limited opposition. This round, Kouli's throwing a lot more punches than Hitrov, but I think they're relatively meaningless punches. He's not landing them, and there's not a lot on them anyway.
But he's very relaxed. He's still putting punches out there, making Hitrov think. Hitrov is running into some shots, too.
So far in this round, Hitrov not able to do very much.
No.
No, he can't find the range because when Kouli's moving, he's too far away, and then when Hitrov gets close, Kouli ties him up. And Hitrov, by the way, is not listening to Gary Stark because he's not jabbing his way in.
There was a combination. That short right hand got Kouli's attention. Wild left misses, but right hand scores. Biggest punch of the fight from Hitrov. Still to come, we're going to see the hometown guy. That is Frank Galarza, and that is his nephew, Eldon, alongside. Another one of the good guys. You know, we always say this sport is full of good guys. He's one of them.
He looks like The Rock. I'm sorry. I said it last time. I'm saying it again.
He does.
He looks like The Rock.
He does.
He can't touch you. He can't touch you if you fight smart, all right?
Action from round 3. Late in the round, another counterpunch by Hitrov. He landed 2 huge right hands that round, more than enough to give him the round on my card.
Yeah, I agree.
I gave him the round, but I thought he needed that last little rally.
I think that's what won him the round, that last little rally by Hitrov. That's what he's got to do. He rubbed him there with Kouli. Push him off.
I say stop punching, please.
Make it a dogfight. He's got to push him off that balance. He's letting Kouli think too much.
No knockdown. Listen, you are holding entirely too much, all right? Don't force me to get involved in this, all right? Stop the holding, all right? Fight.
The warning from Earl Brown to Kouli about holding.
That's a key moment because if he's not allowed to hold, well, now, this is where the punch counting is interesting because the numbers are close. And through 3 rounds, Hitrov's power punch is 23, Kouli 21. But all power punches are not alike. Hitrov's are much harder. So the numbers can be deceiving.
Yeah, Hitrov cannot afford to get frustrated with him. I see a little bit of signs of frustration.
Yeah, it looks like he's just trying to turn it into a brawl here.
I mean, he needs to do that, but he needs to be calm about it, be smart about it. Get close in a smart way, give him head movement, keep touching him, but don't show signs of frustration. Don't show the other fighter that. And Kouli still remains very relaxed.
Absolutely.
I mean, I gotta give him that because he's fighting a potential star here. A lot of hype behind Hitrov.
Let go. Fight.
This is definitely a good learning experience so far right now for Hitrov.
A lot of wild punches from Hitrov. There's a double jab.
He's missing a lot, Barry.
Yeah, he is. Missed with the uppercut.
Kouli's stiff arming him there with the jab, just holding with the jab. When a guy does that, you know what you do? You want to play that game? You hook the elbow. Hey, the elbow breaks if he gets hurt. This is boxing. He's playing dirty. I'm going to play dirty too.
Not that Raul would ever have done it.
No, of course not.
He's not that kind of guy.
Our Raul.
Now Hitrov's closer
There's
now.
a good right hand right there.
Good move there by Hitrov. He wouldn't let Kouli hold.
Hitrov is too flat-footed. He needs to get more on his toes and give him a little bit of movement. You know, he just, when you follow on a guy, he's plodding too much. You gotta do a little bit in and out on your toes, be more fluid, faster on his feet. That's the way he's gonna get closer to Couli.
Starting to set down on his punches a little bit more, a little more crisp punches. That one over the top. I thought this is a much more effective round for Hitrov.
Halftime here with Hitrov and Couli. Very few jabs from Hitrov. His corner wants him to jab his way in. Easier said than done against the lefty. The power shots again. Hitrov missing a lot. 24% is not real high. But when he lands his 38 power shots, they're a lot harder shots than Couli's 25 have been. And the body punching to Hitrov also. These numbers back up my card. I have Hitrov winning every round, even if he hasn't looked all that good at doing it.
Well, here we see Couli. So far, Couli, honestly, he should be happy that so far he's got 4 rounds with Hitrov, but he needs to keep boxing. He needs to throw more punches, be more effective with his shots. He's not putting any hurt on Hitrov. Hitrov needs to close the gap, be smart, go to the body first, then the head, and then he'll get him out of there.
So this is round 5. I must say, I give the first round to Couli. Since then, I've given everything to Hitrov.
I did too. I did too.
Couli seemed to be a little bit more effective, settling down a little bit more in the last couple of minutes of that last round.
See, there we see Hitrov. He continues to go to the head first. Just touch him with the jab. Aim at the chest. Keep touching the jab. Then work both sides of the body and up the middle. That's where he's got to go to work. When you do that, Couli's going to stop there. He's going to have him where he wants him. Then you start going to the head. See, there he's aiming for the head again. He misses. He misses by maybe a quarter of an inch every time he throws for the head. Sometimes he catches him.
You know what, though? I really have the feeling this is really a good test for Hitrov.
It is. It is.
No, I totally agree.
Oh. I mean, he's winning. A little bit of a sloppy fight, but Couli's style is difficult. He's not making it easy for Hitrov.
Now, after 2 stern warnings, will Earl Brown take a point away next time Couli grabs?
I would have to think he would.
Hitrov's corner wanted more body work in between rounds. There it is. He comes underneath with the right hand.
Behind the double jab. Right hand from Hitrov.
Look at that. See, now Couli, he's trying to do anything to get some time or survive, because this is what I'm talking about, a long night. You know, he's feeling the punches, the effects of Hitrov's shots. That's putting hurt. It's numbing his body. He's got power. See what I'm talking about? That's exactly. Nice little angle there.
And he got him turned, just missed with the right hand.
See, he doesn't have to load up with every shot. Just rat-tat-tat-tat, and boom.
Couli seems to me as though he's slow to step here. 4-punch combination from Hitrov.
That's what he needs. Just stay busy like that. Keep working him, keep chopping him down. Just like a tree. Start from the bottom, then go up to the head.
There was a good right hand. Good solid right hand, but Couli didn't take a backward step. Wild right hand missed.
And Couli's not holding on too much. Why? Because he's busier with his shots, Hitrov.
Good right hand there from Hitrov.
Let's not forget, Couli's been 6 rounds once. That's the furthest he's ever been. This fight scheduled for 8. This is not a guy you want to be in with in the longest fight of your career.
Hitrov got a good rhythm in this round. He needs to continue that.
Hey, all right? All right, listen in. Right now, okay? Because when you're making a miss, you're making him pay. And you're allowing him to stay in front of you those short punches and start wearing you down towards the end of the round. And then he's able to land heavier shots. So what I need you to do is if you miss him, you got to make him pay, and you got to make him pay with some hard, short shots. Right now, you're going to make a choice to either change your life or just fight the fight to survive, all right? If you win this fight, you're going to change your life. But now you got to get him out of here. You hear me? You got to get him out of here now, okay?
Eddie Croft with some strong words for Couly.
That's your guy, Eddie Croft.
Yeah, remember when he was a fighter? A fighter actually very much like Couly. Didn't have a big punch, but
Made it seem so easy, Croft, you know, but hey, that's a good trainer. He's been a boxer. Whatever it takes to motivate your fighter. You got to be a good cheerleader in there too.
yeah, Eddie doing a very nice job in the Bay Area. He's got a number of people now working out of Virgil Hunter's gym, as we said.
The only problem I have with Eddie Croft's advice to Couly is that he said you got to get him out of there. Of course he does. He's not going to win the fight on points. But I don't think he's capable of getting him out of there. I don't think he has the punch.
Yeah, that's always a problem. And then you get a guy too brave, and all of a sudden.
You see the percentages are close. Oh. Hitrov's throwing so many more shots.
Hit him with a right hand there.
That was a good right hand by Couly. Now, what if Couly had some power?
Well, Hitrov did not take a backward step with that shot. There's a right hand from Hitrov.
Another right hand.
Hitrov's going downstairs a lot now.
That's the key to body punching. And like how his trainer, Gary Stark, was saying, not to the side. You know, when you throw body shots to the side, your elbows, your arms block some of them shots, but come up the middle, come up the solar plex. If you catch a guy coming in with a shot down on the solar plex, it'll be over. Sometimes body shots, man, they hurt. They paralyze you. That's it. He tried it right now. He just did it, Hitrov.
Good body shot from Couly.
Couly did it back?
Yeah.
Even though Hitrov has a lot of first and second round knockouts, he's going to be the kind of guy that wears down his opponents. He's not a huge puncher.
Well, basically, that's what he did against Melendez.
Yeah, exactly. In his toughest fight. So he's not Gennady Golovkin in there. He's not going to knock you out with pure.
Oh, good left hand. That hurt Couly. Couly back against the ropes. Now we'll see if Hitrov can finish. Couly, his legs are not in good shape here. I don't believe it will take very much for Hitrov to get him out of there.
Yeah, one more good shot. He looks shaky in there.
Still doesn't have his legs back.
No. And he's moving right into his right hand. He's gonna get caught again.
That time Hitrov took a step to his left, came with a left hand.
Couly still has the presence of mind, though, to be a little slippery.
Yeah, there's another good right hand.
Probably delaying the inevitable.
It seems as though that's the case.
All right.
This is round 6. Remember, we're going 8. And after this round, it's uncharted waters for Couly. Good body shot from Couly.
Man, he got a lot of heart. He keeps trying. I got to give it to him.
We are here in Brooklyn, New York. I'm Barry Tompkins, along with my partner, Steve Farhood, and El Campeón, Raul Marquez. We are watching our second fight of the evening between Evgeny Hitrov and Aaron Couli. Couly, an undefeated fighter who has been nothing if not game. And Hitrov rather undefeated 9 fights as well with 9 knockouts.
He's good, man.
He's good.
All right,
Hey. Let's get this motherfucker out of here. That's how you're gonna win now, okay?
4 or 5 punch combination. Got it? How you feel? All right, good. Let's go,
Put a
baby.
little sharper. Okay, let's
Put more energy. Let's go. I want this round now. Let's go.
So Couly comes to the 7th round for the first time in his career. Again, Eddie Croft telling Aaron Couly, you got to get him out of there. Easier said than done.
There's just not a lot of power on Couly's shot. Last 3 rounds, total connects, 72-27 for Hitrov.
Yeah, you made the point. He's just kind of breaking him down.
That's it. Yeah, he's been breaking him down from the beginning. I'd like to see more speed. He's got 2 rounds on Hitrov. He could stop this guy. Pick up his rate, his activity rate, but more speed. Not every shot has to be hard. See, threw one. That was a straight lead. That was a hard shot, but he needs to mix it up. 3, 4, 5 speed. Flurries. Back him up, rough him up.
It's interesting, Raul, that you said rough him up, because it seems like Hitrov is not intent on getting inside or even doing any damage inside. He's staying, even when he has the opportunity to shorten the distance, he's keeping the distance. You see it there.
Yeah, I think if he covers up good, you know, have that frame defense, it just walks him down, challenges him, just come up to him and, you know, just starts going to the body, push him back. But he's not doing it.
Couli now breathing through his mouth. I think if he's not on empty, he doesn't have much more than a quarter of a tank left.
Really?
Yeah, he's in survival mode. And he might be the first guy that takes Hitrov the distance.
You know what? And I hate to say it, but in its own way, that could be a badge of honor. You know,
Yeah.
it could get him more fights.
And I really thought Hitrov had more power than, you know, I thought he had that one punch. He's done it before with other guys, but obviously
Good
getting
counter
hit.
left hand.
Let go. No knockdown. Come on. Let his head go.
Raul, I agree 100%. If you had never seen Hitrov before, and I know you've seen him live a lot of times, you wouldn't think he was a good big puncher, judging by what we've seen tonight.
No, I remember the first time I saw him, he knocked out a guy in one round, just left him paralyzed. I said, man, this guy, he's a monster.
Straight right hand.
But
from Hitrov.
obviously the level of opponents are different, you know, even though Couli hasn't fought a lot of named guys, but he's given Hitrov the rounds that we need to see him be in, you know.
One thing that Hitrov is not doing that Derevyanchenko did do, and that is really set down on his punches.
Yeah.
And he's allowing Couli to grab him, to hold on. Again, the way you keep a guy from not holding on to you, pick up the speed rate, you know, a lot of punches and just push him off. That's what I'm talking about, right there, real busy.
Counter left hand again from Couli.
He's tough.
Oh. Yeah, you got to give it up for Couli. He's not winning the rounds, but he's upright.
Deep breath. Nice and relaxed.
Some water. All right, Shaq, let's go, baby. Let's pick up them combos now. Yeah.
Last round, touch gloves to the ring.
Last round, baby. You hear me? Let's go.
Okay, Chef.
Don't get careless now. You hear me? You got to fight them.
Last round, touch gloves to the ring.
You gotta knock him out to win, all right? So look, let it go. When you turn, okay, those sharp turns, that's when you gotta let the hard punches.
Shaq, don't stand right.
Got it?
All right, let's go. Big round, Shaq.
Let's go, baby.
Let's go. Come on, second, let's go. Come on, guys, touch gloves. Last round, guys, last round.
Eighth and final round. They touch gloves in the center of the ring, and here we go. Hitrov trying to keep that perfect record of knockouts in every fight that he's had. Couli trying to be the first to survive.
Survive is the key word there, Barry. Couli has the ability to frustrate Hitrov. That's clear. He doesn't have the ability to hurt him, it seems, and that's why he can't win the fight. But there's a lesson to be learned here, and that's that despite all that 500 amateur fights background for Hitrov, this is the pro game. He's fighting tricky southpaw. The only southpaw he fought before this was an aggressive southpaw. There's still a lot to learn, despite all those amateur fights and facing all those different styles as an amateur.
And that, honestly, that seems to amaze me, because when you got 500 amateur fights, I mean, guys, you fight the Cuban, you fight the best, and it's a fast-paced fight. You know, when you fight tall, lanky guys like that are awkward, and obviously he's figured them out, and he couldn't figure this guy out in 8 rounds. So
Yeah, no, that's
it is a
exactly
learning
right.
experience for Hitrov.
It's a learning experience for Couli, too. I think for both these guys.
Yeah, and Couli deserves some of the credit because he has taken a lot of body punches right up the middle, as I said in the first round, and he's still here.
No knockdown. Fight.
I think Hitrov might be a little bit tired, too. A lot of arm swinging from Hitrov now. Kouli again with a counter punch.
Kouli takes a good shot too, man. He got hit with some solid shots, and he's standing his ground. Look at him. His phone's gonna be ringing.
Yeah.
I mean, even though he's losing it, one more minute, and he'll be the first guy that goes the distance with the Lion.
Clearly tired, though.
And maybe this will be a work out well for Hitrov, too, because he hasn't looked like the beast we've seen in all the other fights. Guys may be more willing to fight him after watching this fight.
Yeah. No, I think it's good for both these guys. I think, you know, Hitrov's going to get out of here with a win. And Kouli's probably going to get more fights because of the way he conducted himself in this fight. Combination once again from Hitrov, but Kouli walks away.
He should let that line out of the cage, man. He's got 30 seconds.
Kouli is really tired.
Let go. Break. Come on, break.
He should be. Fight. Never passed 6 before. He took a lot of body punches in this fight.
Well, if he wasn't in survival mode before, it'd be a good idea now.
Man, that's on you, man. Come on. You got seconds left. Let's fight, man. Let's fight, all right?
I don't agree with that. I don't think it was on Kouli at all.
Think he got pushed down?
Yes. Final 5 seconds of this fight. Kouli, it appears, is going to go the distance and be the first one to do that against Hitrov. That said, we all here at least think an easy victory for Hitrov.
Yeah, I think you guys gave Kouli the first round. I have it a shutout, 80-72. So you guys are going to be 79-73. Who's that guy?
We know him.
Uh-oh.
He is everywhere. You notice that?
That's why they call him the Magic Man.
I think that's a cutout doll. I don't really think that's him.
We love our Paulie. And another former world champion. Maybe he's an interim champion, whatever that means now. But Andre Berto, coming off a win. Exciting fighter always.
Yep. Yep. Television friendly. So this one is in the hands of the judges. I don't think there's a big question as to how they will see this fight. And I think there's some stuff, you know, for Hitrov to take back to the drawing board and work on. Here are the numbers, Steve.
Yeah, the percentages for Hitrov not impressive. He did land 2.5 times the power shots that Kouli did, and Kouli's power shots weren't exactly powerful. And then there were the body shots, and that's why I give Kouli credit, because he did take a battering to the body throughout the fight, and he lasted. But Hitrov defensively didn't look wonderful, granted against a kind of a tricky opponent, and offensively looked less than a beast. So he won almost every round on my card, but there's work to be done. And you didn't see a lot of left hooks, you saw more right hands, not surprising against the southpaw. Hunting him down. Kouli either grabbed or spun off the ropes most of the fight, made it a little more difficult for Hitrov. You see Kouli constantly moving his body. And this fight was fought at a distance, at an arm's length, pretty much the whole way. Very little infighting. Kouli warned for holding a couple of times. There were no point deductions. It wouldn't have mattered if there were, or if there had been point deductions, because Hitrov won very comfortably.
Well, that's the feeling here. The judges' scorecard still being tabulated, and we will have the decision momentarily as soon as Thomas Triber totals everything, and he is ready. So let's go to the center of the ring once more. Thomas Triber with the decision. Thomas?
Ladies and gentlemen, after 8 rounds of boxing, we go to the judges' scorecards. Judge Joe Pasquale scores it 78-74. And both judges, John Potteray and Waleska Roldan, are in agreement, scoring it the same, 79-73. All in favor of your winner by unanimous decision. And still undefeated, Yevgen, the Ukrainian Lion, Hitrov.
So Yevgen Hitrov is a winner, and the judges saw it pretty much as we.
Pretty much, they gave 1 round. 2 of them gave 1 round to Kouli. One quick thought, Barry. In 2010, Derevyachenko fought Hitrov in the Ukraine and beat him. Please, somebody send me a tape of that fight.
That had to be a great fight. We're going to see both these guys again. The 2 Ukrainians really showing themselves well tonight, particularly Derevyachenko, who was absolutely sensational in our first fight. Well, still to come, our main event of the evening, the Brooklyn Rocky, Frank Notorious Galarza, making his Showbox return to face Sheldon Moore. But first, a programming note. Showtime Sports award-winning series returns